as we had promised. Now, what is the conversation of the night, you might be asking? And the conversation is all about that shortcut that you and I love. We have become people who, when things happen, that guy around the corner who you will go to and they'll tell you, wewe nimekuangalia hivi, wewe uko na malaria. And then there's something that has happened over the days, that there are people who are creating content and we love them. Do you know that favorite content creator? Do you know that favorite celebrity that you look up to tell you things that are happening right or wrong in your life? But now it is even worse, because it's not just with the celebrity, it's even with AI. But then, let alone the AI, it's about the content you consume with podcasters. Inua mkono kama unapenda podcaster ama ni yanko unapenda. This is a conversation you want to stay to, because we are talking about the matters of health. And last week, we had the opportunity to host one interesting doctor, Dr. Ishmael. We talked about maternal health care. If you missed out on that, you can always head on to our YouTube channel, that is at @CodFM_KE, and get to listen, playback, and listen keenly to everything we said about the disparities, especially when it comes to rural Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, without wasting so much of your time, because I know Julie is on the clock, let me just ask her to join us. Julie, good evening to you. How are you doing? Habari yako?
Hello, Likuyani. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me in this show. I'm so grateful that I'm here.
I'm also grateful that you've joined us. Na uko tayari ku unleash the knowledge. Now, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself.
Asante sana. So, my name is Judy Ogutu and I reside in Germany. Professionally, I'm a trained nurse here in Germany, and I have around 4 years of experience in intensive care unit. And at the moment, I actually work in clinical research environment. Apart from that, I have a very lovely hobby, which is podcasts. I think most of you have heard about Talk with Judy podcast by Doki's Advice. So I can't mention Talk with Julie without mentioning Doki's Advice as well, because Doki's Advice, we work together to bring health back home, which is really important with our camps back home every year. So that's what makes Julie. And I'm grateful to be here and to talk about this matter today with you. Thank you.
I'm actually excited that you've joined us, and of course, I'm sure our audience are equally excited to have you here, because this has been long time waiting. Julie, let me just take your mind back. When we officially launched Court FM, I told you, Julie, I need you to come over. And you're one of the few people who sent in your voice recording of, "Hi, this is Julie from Julie Podcast." Able to pay your line, so that we can ensure it is you. Julie. Oh, tuko na delay namna gani? All right, talk to me.
All right, I can hear you. So, it was just like, "Hi, this is Julie, Talk with Julie podcast." And thank you for listening. For tuning in Court FM.
All right. Anyway, now welcome back officially to Court FM. Glad to have you here. And of course, our conversation tonight, it's all about the matters that we call health issues. Julie, you love talking to people by virtue of the fact that you are a podcaster. But again, in the advent of information, what I'd say dumping, people are constantly looking for knowledge, if not exploring information that will help them address from not just their day-to-day lives, but importantly, even matters health. You have been doing this for some time now. What exactly do you do with your podcast and Advice by Doki? Why Doki in the statement?
Okay. So first of all, I would start with why I do podcasts, right? So I think I started to develop interest in podcasts way back when I was in campus, because I was trying to look at digital health and what can I do. So during this time, I decided to just create my own podcast and write it as thesis. So that's when it all started way back. Then on my journey, I met people that have the same interest.
Yeah.
as me, so
Yeah.
like you as well. So, not to mention Doki's advice,
Yeah.
it's led by Dr. Ogutu.
Mm.
So, when we connected with Dr. Ogutu, we were just networking, and yeah, we just realized we are doing the same thing. And now, how can we combine our knowledge together? How
Yeah.
can we do this together? And
Mm-hmm.
that's how I just talk with Julie came in to work together with Doki's advice, and that's why talk with Julie by Doki's advice. That's how we
So,
came up with that.
so let me take you back to even some of this. I mean, I have some of this background information because I must dig on my guests before they come here to spill their own gospel of not truth. You tell me in your thesis, when you're trying to defend it, one of the things you opted to do was the media way, and specifically on podcast. What gap were you trying to address, and you thought it was needed for you to actually compile the new media with what we will now refer to as access to scientific information from the click of a podcast listen? What were you trying to, I mean, what gap were you addressing in that?
So the gap that I was addressing has to do with, you know, in Germany, we are understaffed as nurses during that time when I was studying.
Mm.
It was a mess. So as a nurse, I would really love to do more. Like I want to work, I want to educate my patients at the same time. I have to do everything at the same time. But mostly you have less time to do all these things at once.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, with these digital ways of podcasts,
Yeah.
why can't we teach our patients, even before they come patients, just teach people
Yeah.
about health matters so that even if I miss that 1 minute at work, to tell them about how heart attack can happen to someone, how medication adherence is important,
Yeah.
at least they have a safe space to listen to these podcasts where they're not judged, where there is no hurry during the day because there's nothing happening. You're just at home, you're doing whatever you love, but you can still listen to the podcast, you can still educate yourself. So for me, it was just this gap of bringing in the new digital ways
Yeah.
in the healthcare system because
Yeah.
this is the future. Yeah.
And I love the fact that Julie, you talk about bringing the digital space into, the touch of the button. And a lot of people have actually been doing this, including people who are non-medics. And that's where I have an issue with Julie, because I will wake up one morning and decide today I'm going to advise people about how to cure cancer because my grandmother did it. Do you feel there's a problem with the whole aspect of where you get information from? And specifically, if the person that is behind that microphone, it's actually a non-medic.
Of course, there's a big problem.
What is the problem?
Mostly, my problem is you go online, you'll find something like what your doctor is not telling you about. You can lose weight, for example, in 10 minutes or whatever, 10 kgs in a week or something. So, yes, you can do it. Sometimes people say, okay, just don't eat for a week, you will lose weight. Of course, you will lose weight. Is it the right way of doing it? So, are you able to check your body and to know that you're doing the right thing? So, there's a gap here. It's a gap of knowledge.
Yeah.
But now we have the other part of viral information, right? So I'd rather go online and read something that I had. If I drink this miracle drink, I would get better than go to the doctor for the checkup. These things, they delay the time that people need to go for checkups and get the correct diagnosis. And that's a big problem. I have a problem with it. That's why I'm here also with my podcast every now and then. Yeah.
So Julie, there are different reasons why different people will actually go to such platforms to get important medical advice. And what is even funny is the fact that when it comes to the medic industry, there are a lot of caveats. For example, if you see an advert on some special pill that is in the market, they will tell you, do not consume this without your doctor's advice. Or I remember growing up, there was this tag they use all the time, maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari. So where does the doctor come in, and how can we not pretend to be replacing doctors with all this overflow of information, Julie?
I think we just need to be real. Be real with yourself. That is the first thing that I would say. You're not feeling well. Internet is not the solution. Sometimes, of course, people go and get information and they're like, okay, I just read this, so I'll take a week to go to the doctor. No. I would say there is no way, even if you have all these digital things, please do it with your doctor together. If you're checking on something, make sure these things are working parallel. There's no way you can just replace and just say, okay, now you know what? I'll go and read this information and follow whatever prescription I'm reading online from Dr. Influenza or something like that. It doesn't work out that way. In the long run, we'll have problems. You might not see it right now, but most of the time also, most of the diseases, it takes time until it shows up. You might be okay, you might think you're well because you read something and you drank water, of course, and you did whatever simple thing was in TikTok, right? So you did it and you feel better. But that's not the way. That's not the way.
So, Julie, in your introduction, you told us that you work as a nurse in the ER. Did I get that right?
No, I've worked in ICU before, intensive care unit, but right at the moment I work in clinical research here. So.
In clinical research. So, what is this case you ever received? And I know you're talking from the nurse perspective, that you're thinking, this is Doki's advice gone wrong because someone decided they could treat themselves. Tell us about that experience, if any.
There were a lot of experiences, but what used to amaze me the most is you come in the room, you have your plan of the day for a patient, and they'll be looking at you and saying, oh, but I checked this on Google. Should I really take it just in the morning? Then I'm like, okay, which Google information is that? But what I appreciate in this, in the first place, is like somebody's able to say where they got the information from. They're able to share it with a health profession. That is the start of correcting all these things, If you're ready to share where you got that information. Because it makes work very difficult, even because everybody's different also. So you can't tell me that you read something in Google and now you're not sure what the doctor is prescribing to you, if it's the correct doctor, for example. I've experienced such things,
So, but we could be arguing that you cannot or you shouldn't be consulting. I don't know if I'm preempting, but you shouldn't be consulting and making your decision based on Dr. Google. But there's another disparity that comes with it. There's the financial implication with you going to hospitals. We do know that medical access is expensive, not just in Kenya, for example, but around the globe. You live in developed countries, you know what it costs to access good health care. But then when you go to hospital, your doctor is also Googling with you.
At least the doctor. So I'll say something. If the doctor is Googling with you, I don't know where you got that from, or maybe you heard it somewhere that it's happening, but
I've actually experienced it. We are there and the doctor is asking you, oh, so how are you feeling? I'm feeling, then they are also there busy Googling. But what I want to know is, there could be the aspect of this is a profession, but then again, they are making their research on a profession basis. So what is the danger when you decide to make a complete medical decision based on that one information you've been able to gather online? Any?
So what I mean is like, for example, if I'm going back to your point about, for example, when the doctor Googled something, the difference is the doctor can filter out. He has the background of filtering out good information and bad information. You don't have that background. So he might read something, because the other thing that we need to be very careful about is like, digitalization is here. We're experiencing it. It's going to come to the medical field even more. Use of AI and all these things. It will come in the medical sector also, that it will be okay in a few years. for doctors using certain apps and certain systems. So that is something that we cannot deny. But the only point that I have here is at least have the background of knowing how to filter what is scientifically proved or not. So I think that is what is always missing then. Yeah. So if you do it on your own and just get one thing and then decide on that one thing. So you are a whole person.
Yeah.
You have many body parts and many things happening in your body. You have a whole blood system. So you can't just go and take one Google advice and say, okay, you lie on it. That can never work out that way.
So Julie, again, going back to the previous, concern I had, which is the aspect of the cost of access to medication or quality health care. A lot of us have lived in homes that we will do home remedies. And, you've seen some bodybuilders, who are promoting a specific product or a new whatever pill that is in the market, coming and telling you, you should eat this portion and then avoid this portion. And then another one tells you, all you need is balance. But you go to your nutritionist, they're telling you the same thing. So you wonder, why should I spend this much if I can actually access this much? So what I want you to discuss with me is the aspect of home remedies vis-a-vis actually a visit to the doctor or a medical professional in order to access what we'll say the best of medication.
Yeah, that is a very important point, actually. Thank you for raising that part of that the medical care is not accessible to most of the people, depending on where you're coming from, where you live, and everything. So just if I continue on that, that's why we have also Doki's advice.
Okay.
Doki's advice is with such questions. You can check on that, always online writers or something like that. So that is, we oversaw these problems before that they might come, especially if you're here, like we all live here in Germany, but we give it back to the community. That means we can also attend to those people that do not have access to good medical care. We can answer such questions, But now I also understand this gap that is coming in between the sport people who know what's working for them, and and then you go to health profession who would tell you the same. So I'm not really sure what the content of that might be, but I would still suggest a health profession would have much more information about whatever you're taking, because they can oversee if something is going wrong. Act quickly. They can oversee if maybe, some medication you can take it today, for example, just in the morning, and in the afternoon you have some reaction that are not expected.
So maybe Julie, as you talk about the issue of home remedy, I think the biggest culprit in all this, I would imagine, has always been the issue of people who feel they are overweight or they are approaching what we will call obesity. So they are struggling with weight and weight loss. Can you talk to me about the common errors that we will make based on that favorite podcaster we listened to?
Okay, the common errors are just simple. It's like people are fasting. But why do you think you need to fast? Okay, it will work. If you don't eat, of course, you will lose weight. For a week or 2 days or whatever it is. It's a faster remedy. But you're putting your body under stress. And if you put your body under stress, what will happen? Your body will go on survival mode. And in this survival mode, it means it will try to use everything possible that it has, because the body will adapt to the environment and know, okay, now we don't have food. We are fasting already for 3 days. I don't know when I'll have my next meal. So I'll have to restore whatever I have, survival mode to the end. So that's not healthy. You're causing major problems still to your body in the simple way of losing weight. You see? So these are the common problems. So what people need to do, or what I think is has always worked, check your body first individually. What do you need? You know, what I need might be different from what you need. And you need also to check, do blood tests before and everything. So because, I mean, if I need, if I need to do more sports, it depends. Okay, where am I right now? Where am I heading to? And the problem that I'm getting, the mistakes that I'm getting from people right now is they had somebody lost weight because they were fasting. They don't even ask about the details about this fasting. How was it? How, how was the time frame? It's just like, okay, I'm going to try.
Julie, it's interesting that we're actually talking about body weight and loss, or body weight loss journey, because it just occurred to me actually on my timeline. Somebody that I know, they are currently feeding themselves with vegetables and fruits. And they're saying they're doing it for 30 days. And then I know there's somebody that I know within the same timeline that will actually adopt the same, because they are saying, I'm recruiting more soldiers so that we can fight this journey. But I also know that person. And by the way, this is full disclosure. I'm not going to mention the name. So if you're watching me, my friend, I've seen your timeline, that friend of mine. And I'm thinking, last time I checked out, see ati uko na shida ya mwili. Like, they can fit anywhere. They don't have to pay for 2 seats if they take a matatu. No, they don't need the Sambaza seat, but they are on a body shaping journey. From the nutritional aspect, understanding the BMI of an individual, is there what we call safe vegan only meal?
In medicine, no. So I think what we need is a balanced diet. Has to be balanced. And of course, if you added weight, it didn't happen in a day. It happens gradually. Like, it took time. So why do you want to add weight in a year and expect to lose it in 1 week or in a month? So we are being unfair to ourselves also, right? Yeah. So it's like the time you needed to gain that weight, just be patient with it also.
Yeah.
To gradually lose it, because you also need a system that.
Oh, I am afraid we are.
What do you do afterwards? After 30 days, you go back to what? To what kind of of meals then? After 30 days, we need sustainable and consistent plan, and this can only be generated by. I would say we can never replace nutritionists.
Yeah.
Experts who know what you need for your body and who will follow up with you.
Yeah.
So I'm just against the fact that we just do one-sided things. It can never work out that way.
Exactly. And that's why our topic for the night is titled, There's No Shortcut to Healthcare or Matters Healthcare. But there are people here, and I think it's time for me to just check on some of the conversations you're receiving. For all of you who are also tuned in TikTok, asanteni sana, you guys are very loyal. We need to get you some, loyal customers points you can redeem at the end of the day with Doki's advice podcast. Let me just read some of the comments. There is something called Ozempic. I don't know what it is, Julie. Mimi sifuatangi kazi mingi ya watu. Probably you can talk to me about that, because apparently there is a very big trending thing about Ozempic. I would love for you to address that and what it is all about. There is also something that I think I saw earlier on. Pardon my eyes. I think I need to see a doctor. But for now, the Ozempic thing, do you have any clue about it as I try to get the rest of the comments? What is it all about?
Yeah. Okay, Ozempic is the recent. Hey, the world is evolving here. So for the diabetes patients, they can use Ozempic. And unfortunately, or I don't know if it's proven, or I've not dived in so much in the Ozempic issue. But what I've seen is the results online, what people are still posting that they used Ozempic and it worked for them for whatever reason. But my problem with this kind of measures is we don't have scientific approval for the next. What will happen afterwards? Like, okay, you lost weight. How will it look? How will it look like in the coming years? After losing weight, will you go back and take Ozempic again? So it's something that is there, but I would really have it as a topic for another day completely.
Yeah.
At the moment, I would just say no shortcut. Let's just go the long way.
Haya, mumesikia. You guys want shortcuts to everything and it's not working for according to Julie. And Julie is here to discuss more about where do you get your content from? Because Julie, that is the next thing people will be asking. You're telling us not to listen to our influencers. And some of them actually influence. Is there a very, what I will say, a not to do when it comes to advertising medical products? Is there some legislations that you know of that forbid for the promotion of some specific remedies, or should I say medical or scientific solutions, if the individual that is doing it is not a doctor or the farm? I don't know if you get my question at all. Are there any prohibitions?
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
I get what you mean. Normally there should be, but as I said, the world is evolving and these things are now getting us, we are at a point whereby we're dealing with these things. And I think we are getting at that point whereby these apps like TikTok and maybe even Facebook, I don't know, because you read this everywhere and people are really talking about them, that it worked for them and they're just commenting. The rules and regulations normally, yes. What I would say is if you're not sure of whatever you're spreading, just don't do it. Don't spread any news that you don't know the background of.
Yeah.
I think, just don't do it.
You know, Julie, there was a time when I think it's the Kenyan government that was going to put a legislation or an act of parliament that was going to forbid non-professions from making content or commentaries on matters that they have no professional knowledge in. Now, there are two sides to look at it, because number one, it also cuts down on mis and disinformation that's given. However, there is the aspect of creativity that is also put in danger and source of income. If you were to advise the lawmakers when it comes to content creation that is on matters health, what would be your biggest proposals that you think need to be put in place?
I think, first of all, it's important that health matters should only be spread. Actually, if there are remedies and things that are really important, they should only be talked about with people who have background, either they're doctors, they're nurses, they're healthcare professions. And there should be a way of verifying this, even in TikTok or in Facebook. There should be a way of verifying, okay, this kind of people, they are really nurses, they're really doctors,
Yep.
There must be a way that must be put in place that we are able to say, okay, there's a verification badge. You have this verification badge actually. They're really working great sometimes in things like Instagram.
Yeah.
Something like that should be put in place, for example, just to verify, okay, this is an authentic content or not. Yeah.
And maybe it goes to the extent of probably not just say the verification from having a badge, because I've noticed it's becoming almost impossible to legislate on everything. But there's the aspect of obligation to disclosure, and a lot of these platforms are actually doing that. You have to disclose your content and what have you, but then the damage is already done. Have you been in a position, maybe in your recent experience, that you've come across either some medical content and you can say this is outrageously untrue and can affect a life in one way or another negatively? What was this kind of content, if any, and what would be the remedy around it, Julie?
So I've been out of social media yet for for a minute, but
Mm,
what I have in mind, what I can remember very well,
mm,
that was a viral hashtag in
mm,
TikTok that
mm,
many people used it,
mm,
and it was like, your doctor is not telling me about it.
mm.
People just make content and they start with this. Your doctor is not telling me about it, or you've not heard it from your doctor, or your doctor will not tell you about it,
Yeah,
but this one.
yeah, yeah,
The moment it starts that way, you know,
yeah.
the content will be pushed, yes. Many views, everybody will see it from wherever place it is.
Mm.
But normally what comes after, it's always nonsense. I'm sorry to say that and to use that word also. Yeah.
It- well, if it's nonsense, it's nonsense. You don't need to apologize for that. But when I listen to you, I totally get where you're coming from, because there is the aspect of what we'll now say advocacy for one to get their information from the right sources. But then remember, everyone out here is trying to get a solution for their complex issues. Given we have seen situations whereby somebody will actually tell you that, for a fact, I tried one, two, three, and it worked for me. And then there is another, witness number 2, 3, and 4. And then it becomes viral. So when you tell this person, no, this is not for you, they feel like unajaribu kumzimia nyota, Julie.
No,
What,
lakini,
what are you guys not doing in the industry? Because that's now the issue.
no, I think first of all, we need more healthcare workers, more nurses, more doctors coming out to be influencers also, so that this part or this gap is also filled with professional content creators. I think that is the first thing, because there is a gap in it. We have them, but they're just coming in slowly. But that's also, we go back again to rules and regulations. What is allowed to be shared out? What can you say? I think there's a lot to be done, you know?
Mm.
Yeah, there's a lot to be done. Because sometimes I think then nurses or doctors, they would really want to share something, but sometimes they think, okay, how did it come out? Am I even allowed? The things that are not really.
Precisely. And that's why I'm saying, what are you guys not doing? Because to be honest, I know of very good doctors, I know very good nurses, very good medics, very good engineers. But then there is this corporate gap whereby only the CEO can speak. And often than not, the CEO sometimes is just a manager. They are managing a business, because that's what they are doing. They are running a business. Do you think the extreme control of flow of information, especially from the communication department, especially from the medical organizations and institutions, it's also one of the reasons why we are having these many gaps, and now influencers and uncle like myself are filling in?
So, as I said before, I still go to the point that we are in the process. The digitalization process is ongoing.
But it's too
And that,
late. It's too late to start
that
and
yeah,
ongoing,
it's true
Julie.
that some things have already happened, yes, right? Some things
Mm,
have already happened.
mm,
But now we learn from the mistakes also, right?
mm, mhm,
So things have happened, yeah, they have happened, but we don't leave them like that. So
mm.
it's on our side also, as to make sure that we have rules and regulations
Yeah.
that also allows doctors and nurses to be out there also to correct the mistakes that have been done. Yeah.
Julie, and I'm not going to leave you just to brush. I know you are also, I can tell you're being careful what to say and not say. Can I call your boss and tell them, allow Julie to speak? Because this is important. Anyway, kidding. You see, this is the biggest let's say, factor that contributes to mis and disinformation on such serious health issues, whereby myself or someone else who does not know what has to be done will go with what is available to them. The extreme aspect of putting caveats on what professionals should share and not share, to me, it's a big issue. Because then it locks out people with the right information and knowledge from actually spreading it to the right people. And what happens as a result? You and your friends who are somehow known as the professions, you will do your own meeting, then you'll talk to your own nurses, to your own doctors, and then you'll give us a small snippet of news. But the junk of what you're supposed to be sharing and dispensing out there remains among us yourselves. What are you doing at your place of work to improve this aspect of getting things out there? Because I really want to know that. If you are allowed to share.
To say the truth, I'm not actually sure if these issues are being tackled. Because if we talk about digitalization, and I told you, talking about podcasts, it's way back, years back, right? So it's taken a lot of time, even to start seeing health podcasts from hospitals, for example. I don't know where you live, but I'm talking about Germany, for example. Yeah, there are a lot of regulations, yes, but sometimes these regulations are also to protect. It's not just all about, okay, we want to keep everything to ourselves and I don't know what. At the same time, there's some things that needs to be protected as well. Yeah. So the way you were telling me, going back to your point, you're saying maybe somebody in TikTok says 1, 2, 3 worked for me. The next person also says 1, 2, 3 worked for me. And it's like, okay, this is now a viral post and everybody's seeing that and people are happy. No, everybody is an individual, and individuals are treated differently. So such things, it's the small things.
Yeah.
But I think with time, I'm hoping that in this digital world, things change.
Yeah.
Especially on our side as healthcare profession, that will be able to get, I don't want to call it freedom, but yeah.
It is freedom. I think there's too much gagging that happens in all these corporate worlds. And to be honest, I don't want to again decide or say what it is, but from my suspicions, it's protecting the science, it's protecting the profits, among others. That story for another day. Now, we are speaking to Julie, and Julie is an amazing, amazing individual. She hosts podcasts on matters health, and she calls it Julie Podcast with Doki. Advice with Doki. And she's advising us on why not we shouldn't be getting information about healthcare issues from that friend of yours that is doing some journey on weight loss. And that's why we're saying there's no shortcut to health matters. I would love to get your comments, if any, then we can be able to proceed to the next one. I see Liz here who says, I'm a victim of ISO supplements in the name of Kutafuta Big Teas. Nothing happened to my plums. Okay. That is interesting. We can lay hands on you and pray for you. Kidding. We'll talk to Julie about this and find out. Let's see. Makosa ni ku assume ati these people care. If money is involved, they even sell to us kitu inakumaliza. Some words cannot be used here apparently. You know, also the aspect of having these platforms and too much that word inakwambia huwezi sitamka ile, otherwise your session will be ended. That's why I cannot mention that word. Those products that can unlive you. All right. Also, Stella shares and says you can actually verify if a doctor is qualified and licensed through the KMPDC, that is Kenya Medical Practitioners, Dentists and Poison Board, I believe so, website. But then, Julie, it's not really about the doctor that is licensed. It's also not about the really in the person that is speaking. It is the information that they are sharing and the possible effect that information can have on you. As we try to wrap up this talk, I want us to be very practical, Julie. We started with the aspect of access to information and knowledge. We also looked at the aspect of the health disparities that exist because of issues such as the economics and the economics of scales when it comes to purchase and to all of that. We have had in the past where people go over the counter and purchase medication, and I've seen um, content that I would say it's supposed to be an educative content, but actually it can be a negative content based on how and who is watching. How do you draw the thin line between creating content that is educative and keeps you from doing it, rather than you find it funny and then it ends up actually somebody making that decision? I'll give you an example so that we are on the same page. I saw content that somebody was actually talking about when we were growing up. Our mothers will actually be questioned or question you, unasikia ni kama umechoka? Meza brufen. Now, when you listen to that, it's actually funny if you are knowledgeable about what they are speaking about. But then someone else actually will go back and say, in fact, it's true. Brufen works. And for me, that's a difficult way to split the hairs between great content that is informative and content that is intended to inform, but it ends up getting you to the same place that you are trying to avoid. So, Julie, how do you curate your content to avoid this unnecessary confusion? Because you create content. What do you do?
So, according to my content, is content full of experience. That is the first thing. Is clinical experience that I'm coming with, and then I talk to people also, and as well I have some guests sometimes also in my podcasts, of course. And while talking to my guests, I can always directly filter out like, oh, okay, that is just an individual experience, which means sometimes if it's just talking to one guest or something, you cannot take it it's just a representative of many, right? So it's full of experiences and research also.
Yeah.
We're talking about it, then I go check, because we talk a lot about evidence-based information.
Yeah.
So I think, okay, at the moment, where are we? How does it look like? And is the information still the same as maybe I learned it with the experience we have? Because sometimes you can have experience, but things are changing. So you need also to
refresh a course.
Yeah, exactly. You need also to always refresh. So that's how I come about something. But sometimes it doesn't mean even after searching, doing the research and everything, you can come to a conclusion and say, okay, at the moment, these are the solution. This is what is in the market, or this is what is done. This is what is working. And sometimes there are also no solutions because they're not just been proven, And we have to accept also those parts where we have some things that haven't been proven and they have not been proven. You don't know what Ozempic will do to you in 20 years or 10 years. Yeah. Scientifically, it's not yet proven. So
let me pick your mind on something, because it's also when it comes to content. There's a news article that is published talking about the new discovery or the new approved way of the way of making sure that you do not contract HIV/AIDS. You know that thing that was going viral? And Kenyans were celebrating, tumepata dawa. Now we can do it. Now we can do it. There is the aspect of preventive medication, Julie.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, is the aspect of the possible risks that could come even with the preventive medication that exist. If you were to advise consumers of not just news, podcast, and even possible medication that is now the advanced technology, what are the do's and not do's?
So, first of all, I would not really want to speak about the new medication.
Mm.
Yeah, but generally, for any medication in this world, that's how I put it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Medication is always, as much as you go to the doctor, you get prescriptions and all this. It's always like the last thing that we do, and it's like, okay, for example, if it's high blood pressure, depending on whatever it is. So we always start and see, okay, this is not working, this is not working. So that is if you are consequently going to your doctor and you have all these appointments. So then we are like, okay, if all these are not working now, unfortunately, we have to go and start medication. So for things that you can take care of without medication, why should you take medication? Every medicine has a side effect to your body. So if I put it like that, I hope you get.
Lakini sasa na venye tulikuwa tumepanga baada ya kumaliza hii mambo ya Ramadhani na kusulubisha Yesu, we go back to basics. Why are you discouraging us?
Swali ni,
yeah,
if you can do without it, why do you take it? Nataka mnijibu hiyo.
Haya basi, washikadau nataka mtujibu leo. If you can do without it, why do you think you take it?
The ways that have been proven that have worked for over years now. So why the quick solution now? And might be like, why?
You people know what we are talking about, okay? Because we are not paid to advertise it. We are not going to talk about it. But you know what we are talking about. Let's find out. People are still on the issue of the turmeric and the things they consume. You know, this is how you spread rumors on how you're going to lose weight. Please don't follow the advices you are receiving from the other doctors. Get what we will say professional advice on what needs to be done and not to be done. In the meantime, let's just get a quick break. And when we come back, we continue with a conversation that is focusing on matters. What do we call it? We call it the issue of there is no shortcut to health matters.
Welcome to NK Home Care Services, where quality healthcare meets the comfort of your home. We offer professional nursing care, caregiver support, mental and neonatal services, physiotherapy, post-surgery care, palliative care, and ambulance services, all tailored to your needs. Our mission is to empower you or your loved ones to live with dignity and independence. With compassion, respect, and professionalism, we're here to support your journey to a better health. Visit us today at 54 Real Estate off Mombasa Road or call us on 0768 400 800 or find us online at www.fifthgenerationaloutsourcing.com. NK Home Care Services, caring for you wherever you are.
Indeed, and we continue with the conversation tonight. Nakwambia leo imekuwa ngumu because I feel like this issue of medications and access to knowledge and information really hawa watu wa hospitali ni makatelo. Wana control information sana. But is it for public good or is it for wanaita ni royalties? Mnataka royalties. Si ndio Julie? Ni royalties mnataka. According to doctor.
Really advocate for patient care. So that is the first thing that is really important.
All right. I'm going to ask you a few questions. And again, you are allowed to answer them. There's no wrong answer. You have been in what I will say the adrenaline moment. What was the highest part of it that you are like, I must save this life? Ama ulisema hii wacha iende. I can't.
Can you come again?
You
Like
have been in
rudia?
an adrenaline moment, as a medic, okay, a nurse,
Yeah.
whatever it is, uko ndani ya hiyo room, and you guys are in the action. What was this action moment? They're like, ai, hii kama nikiweza Mungu wangu nitashinda nikikutukuza Baba.
Oh, so this is during COVID time. Back then, it was tough moment or moments actually. Yeah, so we are having every other night was always really hard. So I had this situation whereby we were really understaffed, and I think that is a common thing that nurses are understaffed.
Yep.
So during this moment, as I told you before, I used to work in the intensive care unit, and there's something called team lead.
Yeah.
So on that night shift, I was actually the team lead for the night. And during COVID, you needed to dress up a lot of things before you go to a room. And on a certain night, we really had several reanimations. I mean, in intensive care unit, it's common to have reanimation, but what was not common is just having several reanimations.
Unajua ukisema when you say reanimation, some people here who do not even understand what you're talking about, they think, because I have a lot of babies on the chat because they want to learn a lot, they think they are watching cartoon ya Kababa and Tom and Jerry. What is reanimation, even as you explain the several incidences? This is for Stella and the likes here.
Like a baby. Okay. Reanimation is when you're giving the chest compressions to restart the heart. Yeah. So we had such situations, and the most difficult thing was this dressing up, going into this COVID room, because normally you just go in and start.
Yeah.
But now you have this process of dressing up, and you have many. I think that 1-2 patients were being reanimated in the same room at the same time. And then during that moment, also other reanimation in the same hospital. So if you are in the team lead, it means when there is a reanimation, you have to go. You have to go. So it was a very tough night that I just thought afterwards, if I made it that night, wow. Yeah.
Did your patient survive? Or this is a story that is never told?
Oh, stories for another day.
Have you ever lost a patient under your watch?
Many patients, yes.
Does it take a toll on you?
Of course.
Or this is the day you are prepared for, like pilots?
I mean, what I came to learn is with time in your profession, the more experience you gain, the more understanding you will have about life and death. The more understanding you will have about why somebody is dying. So I think at the beginning it was really tough. But with time, when I had more experience and when I understood the connection between diagnoses and how one would come to an end or end of life, I do not say that it was now perfect, but I could deal with it better.
If there's anything you will change in your profession to ensure both the patient and the caregiver plus the doctor themselves and of course the nurses who are the beginning and the end of the patient's journey, because I believe so, what would that be when it comes to information?
So I think the most important thing is we have to work as a team, and communication is really important, especially when the patient is in hospital, and now actually you have to trust the nurses and doctors and say, okay, this is my mother, this is my father, this is my whoever, there must be a certain trust in it. And also the patient should also create this trust depending on how sick the patient is. If he's in a situation whereby he or she is able to, it's important to work together and have one team. So that what I experience, why I'm saying this is sometimes you go to a patient.
Yeah.
And maybe 5 minutes ago, the doctor was in there or a relative or somebody. Everything was perfect. And then you come in and the patient will be asking you, what was the doctor saying? Yeah. So it's in a way that they have to trust everybody that is working with them.
But you know,
And
trust
be
is a
open.
very difficult thing, Julie, especially if your life is on the line. And you know, there are circumstances whereby the person that is supposed to save your life literally takes your life. Do doctors and nurses ever make mistakes, or that is the journey of every other beginning and the end of life?
I mean, nobody would want to make a mistake when it comes to a patient's life. Nobody would want to make a mistake. That's what I'm saying. So if I'm allowed to leave it at that, nobody would want intentionally to make a mistake.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Those are some of the things that happen in the intensive care unit. This was our intensive moment, because the reality of the matter is we are just but humans. But then again, doctors, in my view, do not keep you alive. They just delay your death. And I know it's a very uncommon for people to say it. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Can you expand on that a little bit more?
Yeah, in my view, and maybe I'm wrong. You see,
Yeah.
if there's if there's anything that is certain, is death, not even life itself. Death is certain. When it happens and how it happens, it's another whole issue. But hospitals, doctors, science, medication, information that will keep you healthy only delays the time that the ultimate call happens. So in my view, it's inevitable. But then again, thumbs up to men and women like yourself who put in the work to ensure that we are actually able to enjoy a good life when we are still on planet Earth before our clocks ends. That's why I'm saying, I believe, in my view, the medical industry, it's not to avoid death, it's to delay it and make sure that you get the best of life while at it. Is my theory too tough to handle?
It's your view, so I won't really get into it so much. I have a question for you. What do you normally do when you are unwell?
Precisely. I overthink. I overthink of what would be the worst that will happen.
Okay, this overthinking, how long does it take?
It takes me enough time. For example, by the time I am sick and feeling unwell, the only thing I want is to get a doctor to fix it. Because I know if they don't fix it, there is a possibility the inevitable will happen.
Okay. I just wanted to understand your theory. Thank you.
You know what? This is the only time the guest gets to interview the host, and I love it. We've been hanging out with Julie. And Julie, before I allow you to sign out, I will give you an opportunity to, give us your final words. And then also for those who are trying to get in contact with you, because I've seen Eric here asking how could they reach out to you. Probably this is your time, Julie. Go ahead.
So thank you so much for having this chance to be here, and I really enjoyed the conversation. It was really, at the end we had this intensive part which was really amazing, that I had to think about some personal things that happened in the past, and I really loved it.
Yeah.
So if you want to reach me or to write me, you can just check Talk with Julie in Instagram. Yeah, at the moment I'm not on TikTok, but Talk with Julie Instagram or in Facebook. You can find me there and leave me a message. Or if you want to do a podcast with me, so just write me and I'll get back to you. It was such an amazing time to be here.
Yeah.
Be patient with yourself. That's what I would say. Do not take everything to be so, how do you call it, serious on your search as well. As much as we're talking about serious things, we need to learn to be also easy with ourselves. If you want to get information and learn about things, I would say it's better also to just learn about these things. At the moment,
Julie,
has to add some information somewhere and you can go back to it.
yeah, Julie,
So,
we had some interruption with your call for a few seconds. You're saying we have to be patient. I'll allow you to take that again.
oh, I was just saying we have to be patient with ourselves. We should not be so serious about these things. And the best thing to do is always to keep yourself informed. How in situations whereby you're not sick. So this will help you later on, because when we'll be searching for something that you heard about when you are healthy and in good mood and you could verify it well. So if you need this information later, it's easy to go back and check it.
Yeah.
So just be easy with yourself. Shortcuts are there, but at the end of the day, these shortcuts are just long cuts. And that's why I'm saying there's no shortcut. Well, yeah. Thank you.
Asante sana. That has been Julie. And Julie, you've been amazing. Thank you so much. Looking forward again to having you. And again, for those of you who love to contact Julie, Julie is available on Talk with Julie podcast. And again, we will be sharing a link to some of our work on the final video that is available on both our platforms, that is at Mizani 254 and also at CodeFM_KE. We continue with this program on our X broadcast, and of course we are live on CodeFM.co.ke. For now, we want to go back to where it all began. Then we can wish Julie a great night. Thank you, Julie, for coming, and have yourself a great night.
Thank you, Likiani.
Asante sana. Thank you very much.
Welcome to NK Home Care Services, where quality healthcare meets the comfort of your home. We offer professional nursing care, caregiver support, mental and neonatal services, physiotherapy, post-surgery care, palliative care, and ambulance services, all tailored to your needs. Our mission is to empower you or your loved ones to live with dignity and independence. With compassion, respect, and professionalism, we're here to support your journey to a better health. Visit us today at 54 Real Estate off Mombasa Road, or call us on 0768 400 800, or find us online at www.fifthgenerationaloutsourcing.com. NK Home Care Services, caring for you wherever you. The Social Room is proudly sponsored by Bundi Safaris. Travel, explore, discover. Court FM. Let the music play. You're listening to Court FM. Let the music play.